Hello chums, I recently uploaded a few videos covering engine swaps that I thought were best avoided. Since I've been going through tons of swaps to pick the worst choices, I figured it would be worth highlighting some of the more underrated swaps. So here's 5 of those. Let's begin. First up we have a Ford Focus RS with the engine from the GT LM Spec 2. This is a combination that gets largely overlooked by a great deal of the player base, however this is a bit of a secret weapon. The donor car is in the Group 3 category, which means fuel economy is much better than standard road cars, a good thing for any racers with fuel consumption. Add in 4-wheel drive traction and the V8 soundtrack of America and you can't go too far wrong. Even without any adjustments to the settings, this car handles abnormally well. Next up is another 4-wheel drive, though nowhere near as useful. The Toyota Alphard is a luxury van, and rather hilariously we can outfit it with the V10 from the Lexus LFA. Capable of just over 700 horsepower, it won't be winning many races thanks to its low top speed, but it's a screaming V10 with 4-wheel drive. The LFA the engine comes from can sometimes be slightly twitchy to drive, but this van is glued to the road, and with the rear diffuser option it can generate rather silly levels of downforce for some pretty surprising cornering speeds. Next up is one of my favourite engine swaps in the entire game, the Demon Charger. The 1968 Dodge Charger is a car famed for its terrible handling, but in Gran Turismo it's much better than it has any right to be, to the point that it still works with the full 1186 horsepower from the Demon engine. Factor in the V8 rumble and the supercharger whine and it makes this one of the most fun engine swaps in all of Gran Turismo 7. It may not be the absolute best car for the usual grinding races, and it's not overpowered for its performance point rating by any stretch, but it's still an absolute blast and I highly recommend you give it a try. Next up we have another V8 swap. The Toyota MR2 is a car with a reputation for being unforgiving at the limit, so you'd think that the 4.2 litre V8 from an Audi R8 would make things even worse, but that couldn't be further from the truth. This car handles its power excellently, and in my Taming a Monster series this car has equalled some much more serious machinery around the Nordschleife. It beat the RX-7 with the 787B engine, as well as the 2014 Subaru WRX with the 911 turbo engine. And both of those cars have 200 horsepower on this little Toyota. The raw pace of this often forgotten engine swap may shock a few unsuspecting opponents. My last pick is yet another V8, and it's completely terrifying. The LT4 engine from the Camaro ZL1 can be thrown into 2 cars. One is the classic 69 Camaro, which is quite a mess. Then there's the TVR Tuscan. TVRs are well known for being rather scary, so imagine a TVR with 1000 horsepower and enough torque to make the car implode. The Tuscan keeps you on your toes, if we're being polite, but there's no arguing with its raw pace. On my leaderboard it sits just ahead of the aforementioned Toyota, and there's only a few rear-wheel drive cars that have beaten it on the leaderboard. all of which are much, much more expensive. So the TVR is a bit of a giant killer, though if you're not careful, it may try to kill you as well. So, that was 5 engine swaps that I don't think get enough attention. Let me know which swaps you think fly under the radar in the comments below for some wonderful engagement. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you found this video enjoyable or helpful. If so, please consider liking, subscribing, and touching my bell so that you get notified of my future uploads. Take care now, and ta-ra.